What happens when a powerful politician says something never happened, but the photographs say otherwise? Tonight, we're looking at the moment visual evidence collided with a very confident denial. I never had the privilege of going to his island, and I did turn it down. A lot of people in Palm Beach were invited to his island, but in one of my very good moments I turned it down. I didn't want to go. If you've watched the evolution of American politics over the last several decades, you might remember a time when photographic evidence was the ultimate undisputed arbiter of truth. A single photograph could end a political career overnight because the public understood a simple rule: cameras don't lie. Before we go deeper, let me know in the comments where you're watching from tonight. Today, however, we're navigating a very different political era, an era where a public figure can look directly at clear historical evidence and simply deny it exists. Much of Donald Trump's public strategy has relied on that principle. If a fact is inconvenient, dismiss it. If a document appears, call it fake. And when the national conversation once again returned to his well-documented social history with disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, the situation became even more complicated. The man now overseeing the release and redaction of those Epstein files is Trump's own former defense attorney, Todd Blanche, once his personal lawyer and now a gatekeeper to the Epstein documents. Faced with renewed attention, Trump attempted a bold rewrite of the past. Speaking confidently to television cameras, he insisted he barely knew Epstein and had almost no meaningful relationship with him. The denial sounded smooth, rehearsed, and delivered with total confidence. What he did not anticipate was that late-night television would respond not with jokes, but with visual evidence. Inside the Hollywood studio where Jimmy Kimmel is filmed, host Jimmy Kimmel prepared a monologue that would soon dominate the national conversation. For years Kimmel has mixed comedy with political commentary, but on this night the tone felt different. When he walked on stage, the audience expected sarcasm and punchlines. Instead, Kimmel sat behind his desk with an unusually serious expression. "The former president expects you to ignore your own eyes," Kimmel said quietly as the room fell silent. He reminded viewers that millions of pages of documents connected to Epstein still remain unreleased, despite legal requirements to eventually disclose them. Trump had recently posted online suggesting it was time to drop a really big bomb about the Epstein files. Kimmel responded calmly. He neglected to mention one detail: his own name appears in the files as well. According to lawmakers who reviewed unredacted documents, Trump's name appears repeatedly throughout the material. Then Kimmel gestured toward the giant screen behind him. "Tonight," he said, "we're not relying on opinions. We're going to look at the photographs." The first image appeared, a clear photo taken at Trump's Palm Beach estate, Mar-a-Lago. In it, Trump stood shoulder to shoulder with Epstein and Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell, all three smiling comfortably for the camera. Kimmel pointed out this wasn't a random encounter in a crowded room. It was a posed photo at a private event hosted by Trump himself. The audience reacted with uneasy laughter. Then came a second photograph from a 1990s New York social event. Trump and Epstein stood close together, leaning toward each other while laughing, the familiarity between the two men obvious. Kimmel allowed the image to linger before moving on to newly unsealed court documents. "Let's see what the files actually say," he noted while displaying a referenced message recalling a flight on Trump's plane and mentioning the weekend Trump first met Melania. The line drew audible gasps from the audience. Kimmel paused for a moment before dryly adding, "Yeah. I don't think they mentioned that in the Melania documentary." Then more images appeared one after another, photographs from charity galas and elite social gatherings over several years. In nearly every image, Trump and Epstein appeared within arm's reach of each other, relaxed and socially connected. The pattern became difficult to dismiss as coincidence. To briefly ease the tension, Kimmel inserted a dark joke about one unusual detail in the files. The audience laughed nervously, but the humor quickly faded as the screen returned to the growing archive of images. Finally, Kimmel introduced perhaps the most striking piece of evidence, a still frame from widely circulated 1992 footage at Mar-a-Lago. The clip showed Trump and Epstein laughing together, pointing out women on the dance floor and whispering to one another. The contrast between Trump's claim that he barely knew Epstein and the footage playing behind Kimmel was impossible to ignore. Kimmel didn't shout and he didn't rant. He simply let the historical record speak for itself. For many viewers watching at home, it served as a reminder that while political narratives can change overnight, archives have a way of preserving the past. If you believe the public deserves the unvarnished truth, hit that subscribe button and share this video. We're building a community dedicated to exposing bluffs and demanding accountability from people in power. Drop a comment below and tell me, do you think this photographic evidence will finally shatter the illusion, or will supporters continue to dismiss it? Stay vigilant and keep asking the hard questions.